Twisted Fate beta way is kind of interesting. Uh, Banning TF lends towards like a first pick rise. It means that you can kind of roam to other lanes and then other people can't. Uh, I doubt they would want to pick the Lee Sin again, but um, Team Liquid is also banning LeBlanc, which opens up the Ahri pick. Uh, Karma is a support pick seen alongside Caitlyn and Ezreal, but people also counter pick it with like Yumi or Zillion and kind of scale over top of it. So I don't think it's worth a ban, but it's interesting that they do pay respect. And then Lee Sin is banned away, so it should be a first pick rise. Notably, they could also first pick something in the bot lane, like the Jinx or the Xayah, but I think Evil Geniuses do look better when they can kind of collapse towards these side lanes, but we'll see what they want in the bot lane. They do go for the Jinx. Uh, Notably, banning that Karma, people either go the Caitlyn or the Ezreal into Jinx or the Xayah as we've been seeing earlier. But I imagine we will just see like Nautilus picked here is kind of interesting a little bit. Evil Geniuses still have the Leona as an early kind of playmaking threat, or they can look to pick something to scale over top of the Nautilus. Um, like even like the likes of a Lulu, which is like pretty good next to the Jinx. But instead they do pick the Leona here. These are the last two picks before the second ban phase, so getting that Leona before it's banned away is kind of important, I guess. If you are interested in early game playmaking, which in almost all three drafts today they have, should see some sort of counter into the Ahri here before it's banned away. We do just get the Rise locked in. Kind of interesting. I think it's an okay matchup into the Ahri, but it can't really apply enough pressure into the Ahri, so late game there's going to be a lot of playmaking from Bjergsen. I like picking AD carry here before things are banned away. You know both champions there, so you can kind of come up with a counter pick here before your options are limited. But so they're just going to go for J4. Picking support early like this, as Evil Geniuses have, J4 is like biggest counter is Thresh, which is really well paired next to the Jinx. But knowing that both Jinx and Leona don't have a dash, and Rise for that matter, don't have a dash to deal with J4's Cataclysm, like the Crater or whatever. Uh, it's a good look for the J4. And then they can look to ban junglers here as well, away from Evil Geniuses. The Ornn banned away. Ornn was an answer that the Team Liquid used in Game 1 into Evil Genius's blind pick Gnar. So that's taken off the table. We should see just Gnar banned here, but instead they banned the Diana. Wild. So maybe they ban like the GP or something here. Another like pretty powerful pick into the Gnar. And also picking the... Well, I think they're going to pick AD carry here on R4. Giving counter pick to top lane, considering the bot lane's already picked for Evil Geniuses. So they do actually like ban the early picks here for AD carry, pinning down your options here. The Ashe here for Hansama is something that he's played, I think, 3 games in the regular season. So also an interesting counter into the Jinx, who doesn't really have a dash to deal with your R, like the arrow. So it's locked in. A lot of playmaking from Team Liquid. You have the Nautilus. All 4 champions have like a lot of power. Oh, let's see. LeBlanc applies like too much pressure in the early game to the point where even if you do like kind of have that good interaction, it's really hard to deal with the burst from her and kind of the poke damage that she can deal in lane, even from just auto attacks. So, uh, Nocturne Hero is kind of interesting too. But Kennen is a counter pick that people use in the top lane for when you do lock in champions like Ahri to deal with like that engage threat. So kind of interesting pick in the top lane, especially a blind pick. You could even pick Irelia here to deal with Kennen's like burst potential and then like counter. But maybe they'll go for the Graves instead. Irelia into Kennen was like a really big counter pick in Korea that's used. Notably, like last year, I was doing a lot of draft analysis for Hanwha Life Gaming versus T1, and it's the Zeus into Morgan matchup. They kept picking it over and over. It was kind of interesting, but I think overall Team Liquid kind of have a lot of comfort picks, but Evil Genius is kind of smurfed with the draft a little. So I think Evil Geniuses will probably take it, but I guess we'll see.